Hey everybody, I'm out here taking a look at one of the new releases from Infinite Discs. I've got an iBlend Emperor right here. This is one of the X-Outs with the Julius Caesar Et tu Brute stamps. I've thrown it just a little bit, and both in numbers and feel, it's a lot like a Destroyer. So I also have an X-Out G Star Destroyer. Now I've heard both people say that for the Emperor and the G Star Destroyer, they should be a slightly more understable variation of the Destroyer. This one is a 172 in the iBlend, which I believe is some sort of pro derivative, and the G Star is a 168. They're both kind of gummy. G Star is a little more gummy, but one major difference I wanted to note. The rim feels very similar, but if you see the Emperor on the side here, it has a much sharper wing. The Destroyer is a little more blunt, whereas the Emperor is very sharp. Otherwise, they feel very similar in the hand. They're almost identically the same size, and they should fly very similarly. With a couple extra ounces and a sharper wing, this is a little blunter, a little lighter, they should be almost identical. Let's see how they go in the air. Alright, after throwing both, I gotta say I'm impressed with the new Emperor. Infinite Discs did a good job putting this one together in conjunction with their friends at Innova, and Destroyer seldom disappoints, and this one didn't. Probably the reason this one's an X-Out, it's got some like bubbles in the rim, kind of like a blizzardy type thing going on, but I don't actually hate it. It gives it a decent grip. As far as flight goes, I found the Emperor to be slightly more understable, even though the Destroyer is slightly on the lighter side and one of the less stable plastics. It would hold the line really, on the Heiser one, it held the line really straight, got a nice fade. When thrown flat though, got some decent turn before it faded. The Destroyer on the Heiser line and the flat line didn't fly that differently. It held its line and then had a nice moderate fade. It's probably because this is a more mellow Destroyer, but it was kind of like throwing an eagle versus a T-bird, with the Emperor being the eagle and the Destroyer being the T-bird. The Destroyer had less turn and fade than the Emperor on the majority of throws, and I think as it wears in, you might see the Emperor lose some of that fade. I'll have to check back in a few months after throwing it. It's a really nice, less stable complement to a Destroyer, so if you have some of those nice luster ones or 4-time Paul Macbeths and want something very similar, it's not going to mess up your hand feel. It's a slightly sharper rim, but other than that, it feels like a Destroyer in your hand. You could just throw one of these straight in your bag without having to beat in a star one for several months. I'm excited to try the color glow ones of these that just came out. Have one on order, and hopefully we'll be testing it out very soon. But you know, really, there's nothing wrong with the G Star Destroyer either. I'm not a huge fan of G Star plastic historically, but this one's not too rubbery and gummy. It's got some flex to it, but it's not anything crazy. And it flew very well. I'd be perfectly happy with either one of these discs in the bag, but I like the backhand line versatility with the Emperor just a little more. On the forehand though, that blunt rim of the Destroyer just makes it hold the line so nicely. Just give it a little bit of hyzer, it flips up, rides straight, tiny bit of turn, and then a little bit of fade. With the forehand with the Emperor, however, it turned a lot initially, even on a hyzer. It faded some too, but if you look, it was way net left, whereas I was pretty much just a little bit right of straight with the Destroyer. So either one of these I'd be really happy with. Too close to call it a winner on either one really, but I'd say they're kind of like brothers from another mother, or maybe even one shared parent, because I think they definitely share some mold pieces. Like both of these a lot. Good job to Infinite with this one. I made Team Infinite, as some of you guys may know from a previous video, and I'm really proud of that, and trying to try out as many of the Infinite discs as possible. So these are on sale right now, the X-Outs, if they still have any left, for a really great price. G Star Destroyers are not as easily available, but they're well priced as well. And I very much recommend either one of them for an advanced or higher player, or even an intermediate player looking for a bit of a wind fighter driver. I was hitting golf lines with these in the high 300s, 370 to 390. I have a feeling that on higher lines than I threw today, I could get both of them to go further, especially this Emperor. But on those nice low golf lines that work on almost any course, that was where I was hitting, and that's about right for Destroyer distance for me. I throw things like a King or a Shriek a little bit further, but they're both faster and less stable than either one of these. So try you one out. If anyone tries the color glows before I do on the Emperor, let me know. Those look really awesome. And congratulations to Garrett Gerthy for winning tournament out in San Francisco a couple weeks ago. Hope you guys have a good day. Thanks for watching.